In this video, we are going to look at all the reasons why you need to start a building project this year in 2023 coming up next. Okay guys, so we have experienced a lot of people complaining about the price of building materials and stuff. And when people consider building projects, they think about it as an investment where once your money goes in, it never comes out. And people have many reasons why they would not build a house at all and just continue to rent. But in this video, we want to give you good reasons why you should start a building project, start at least this year in 2023. And the very first reason is that the cost of land is increasing. Now let me give you some practical examples. A few days ago, we had a TikTok live session where we interviewed some people who purchased lands and built on their lands, etc. Right? So one person said he bought a plot of land at 20,000 cedis and he bought 5 plots, right? And today each plot is selling at 70,000 Ghana cedis. This was just 5 years ago. Apart from the fact that the value of her land has increased, imagine she had put off buying that land, right? Which means the 5 plots, she used just 100,000 to buy it, but today it's worth 350,000. Imagine she had put it off. Today, she needs to go and pay 350,000 for those 5 plots. Somebody else said he purchased land at Gomoa in the central region and purchased 24 plots, right? Each plot was selling at $450. The person came from the diaspora and bought 24 plots because it was so cheap. Now today, each plot is selling at $3,500. Now let me give you some context. $450 today is about 4,500 or let's say 5,000 Ghana cedis. Now the $3,500 is about 35 to 40,000 Ghana cedis. So the value of the plot of land has increased by 10 times. The thing is, the person bought the land in the year 2011, so it's been about 11 to 12 years since he bought it. But still, if you look at 10 times increase in 10 years, it means each year the value of land increased about 100%. And so last year was the best time for you to start buying lands. But if you didn't, don't worry. If you have some money, I would advise that you do due diligence, conduct your investigations, find some litigation freelance, especially if the land is not in the center of Accra. Because Accra lands have so many issues. But at the outskirts of towns and in other regions, you are going to get land which is relatively affordable. That is, if you are considering buying land on budget, right? You can get lands at around 10,000 cedis, which translates to less than $1,000 from Amasaman, even areas after Kaswa, go as far as Oyibi, Damfa, and things like that. You can get lands at 30,000, 40,000. Trust me, next year by this time, if we are having the same video, those lands will probably be selling at 2 or 3 times the value. Our parents bought lands around Ashoman estates and things like that for 3,000 Ghana cedis. Today, those same lands are selling for about 200,000 Ghana cedis. And so this is the best time for you to start buying lands if you don't have any land at all. And we are going to make a dedicated video on the prices of lands in various areas in and around Accra. So if you haven't yet subscribed, kindly subscribe and turn on all notifications so you do not miss that particular video. Now this leads us straight into the next point, which is the fact that the prices of building materials have also increased tremendously and they are always increasing. Again, let me give you an example. About 4 years when I set out on this journey to acquire property, the price of cement was selling around 30 to 33 Ghana cedis for a bag of Gasem 42.5 R grade cement. If you've been watching our videos on the Africa Building Hub channel, where we update the prices of building materials every week, then you know that today a bag of cement is selling at about 94 Ghana cedis. Now let's put it in context. A year ago, 2022, between January and April, a bag of cement was selling between 40 to 45 Ghana cedis. Today, it's at 93 Ghana cedis. So that has also more than doubled in just a year. Next year, we could be having the same conversation and the bag of cement could be 200 Ghana cedis. So those of you who are always putting off your building project, looking at the value of the prices of building materials are going up, I don't think they are coming down. So please, just start. If you look at the winds, you will never sow, right? That's a proverb which is in the Bible. Just sow your seeds today, start something, buy land, start small, small. It might take you longer than you expected, right? Maybe you plan to complete your building project in 2 years, but the way the prices of building materials have gone up, maybe in 3 or 5 years you complete. It is better than not starting. And this, ladies and gentlemen, leads us straight into the third point. Now, the very third point is that once you start a building project, it gives you a certain level of financial discipline that many other projects are not going to give you. Let me explain. Once you start building and you get a contractor, you get an architect, you get a quantity surveyor to give you like the bill of quantities. Like, okay, for the foundation, it's going to cost you, let's say, 50,000 Ghana cedis for, let's say, a 3 or 4 bedroom house, right? A story building. And he tells you that this is going to be completed in, say, 1 month. Then you know that you need to save 50,000 cedis. And so it guides you when you're making certain purchasing decisions, right? If you are somebody who used to buy like a lot of expensive clothes every week or month, now when you're buying your clothes, it tells you that if, for example, you spend 2,000 cedis on clothes every week, and a bag of cement is 700 cedis, you know, you now calculate the clothes in terms of bags of cement. So you say, this dress I'm going to buy can buy me 20 bags of cement. Now, I'm not saying you should not enjoy your life or enjoy your salary or your labor and all that. No, but I'm just saying that once you begin to build and money is going into it, your contractor is requiring you to make some purchases and to bring money for labor, it guides you on how to spend. Maybe you are somebody who likes to buy the latest flagship phones. If an iPhone comes, you want to have the latest iPhone 14. In this year, there's going to be an iPhone 15. Maybe it's going to sell at 30,000 Ghana cedis, right? But you are the type who always wants to trend and be the first person to have it. Now you consider and say, this 30,000 can build a fence wall around my property. Should I really upgrade my iPhone 14, which is still working, or I should invest that money into my fence wall, or do some plumbing, buy some tiles, buy some burglar proof, etc. Once you start building, it makes you very conscious of your spending habits, your expenditure, and your income. Secondly, it helps you to also look at alternate ways of getting additional sources of income. What do I mean by this? Let's assume that you get a salary of 5,000 cedis, but every month you need to make an investment of 10,000 cedis into your building project. You need to find ways of getting that 10,000. So what do? Let's say you're a teacher who is earning 5,000. You can organize classes, you can start a YouTube channel, you can do an Uber, you can invest in somebody's catering business, etc. It gives you innovative ways to think about making money so that your building project doesn't come to a halt. And so it helps you to be very financially disciplined. If you're a woman, if you're a man, whatever decision you are taking, now you look at it in terms of the quantities of material that you need to purchase, and you don't just waste money. Even if it's food, right? You are measured in how you dish out your food, because you know that as you are throwing out food, you are throwing away money that could potentially go into your building project. You're also very conscious about how you spend electricity and water. If you allow water to overflow when you are fetching water, now you are very conscious, because the little revenues or leakages can go into your building project. You now are very conscious. If the light is turned on during the day and nobody is using it, you go and turn it off. If the TV is on and nobody is watching it, you go and turn it off. So it helps you to be very, very financially disciplined, not just in your expenditure, but also in getting additional sources of income, and then managing the total wastage that you have in your life. Now, the next reason why you need to start a building project is because it is a very great learning process. There are certain things you would never know until you have started a building project. And there are certain things you will never experience in your lifetime until you have started a building project. Building makes you wiser. The Bible says, by wisdom a house is built. The challenges you go through when you are building matures you, it toughens you as a person. For example, you go to clear your land, you experience land guards, you learn how to negotiate with them, you learn how to manage conflicts on your building project, you learn how to go and do your search at Lands Commission, you learn how to engage a legal person, you learn how to negotiate with your contractors, your laborers, you learn about the building processes. it helps you to gain valuable lessons in life that you can also share with other people, right? So building is a great learning experience. You learn a bit about, the construction process. You learn a bit about project management. You learn a bit about supervision. You learn a bit about how human character is and how human attitude is, how people can be very unreliable, the excuses people can give, the frustrations you experience, the financial challenges and how you overcome it. So many things that you learn. Once you are learning these things, there are skills you acquire that will never leave you. And apart from the learning process, once your building begins to take shape, the feeling of pride, the feeling of satisfaction you get cannot be described. I tell you, when we had the TikTok session, the TikTok live session with the community in the African Building Hub, people shared their experiences. Though they encountered many challenges in Ghana, right? About land guards, about litigation. But once they were able to overcome it, they went to clear their land. They started digging the foundation. They completed the foundation and they started doing their block work. Anytime they were going to visit their site and they saw the progress on the building project, there's a sense of achievement and fulfillment in your heart. Somebody even said, like, when he goes to the plot and he sees people, like 10 people are working, he's just amazed that, is it because of me that all these people are here? Like, the sense of satisfaction is like carrying a baby in your womb if you're a woman, right? And you feel your bump begins to grow, and then sometimes you feel the tiny movements. It's a painful process, like your back hurts, your waist hurts, and all that. But at the end, when you give birth to a beautiful baby, you forget all the pains and you feel a great sense of pride as a mother, right? And that is a similar thing when you start a building project. It's like your baby. You go today, you've done like the foundation, the next time you've done block work, you've done some pillars, then all of a sudden there's a roof, or you float it if you're doing a story building. Then once you do your roof, you do your plastering, you begin to see the building take shape. There's POP, there's burglar-proof windows coming, doors coming, and like the building is taking shape before your eyes. It might take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter, but every time there's growth, like it feels like your life is making progress. Even during moments when funds are hard to come by, the fact that you've reached somewhere is a feeling of pride that, look, I can't describe it in words. Start and you experience it, and you will come and comment below. If you've also started a building project, comment below how the feeling is when the building is beginning to take shape, so that other people will learn from that as well. Now, for me, the very next reason why I believe everybody should start a building project this year is that land is finishing. We all know that land is like a finite resource. There's no more land being created anywhere. There are businesses being created, there are jobs being created, there are farms, there are TVs, there are technologies, new iPhones, but nobody is creating additional land. If you traveled outside and you came back in, you notice there's so much development happening so quickly. And when it comes to buying land, my advice to you, my dear viewers, is that don't just buy one plot of land. If you can afford it, buy 2, buy 3, buy 4, buy 10. So for example, if you go to the outskirts of land where they are selling land as cheap as 5,000 Ghana cedis, which is like $400, or 10,000, which is like $800 to $900, don't just buy 1, buy 5, buy 10, right? If you don't even want all of them in future, as the value of the land appreciates, you can sell it. Many years ago, people would not have wanted to purchase land at Ayi Mensah, at Oyibi, at Ebri, but then somebody all of a sudden comes to put a hotel somewhere at Peduase Lodge, and the value of the land just skyrockets. Many years ago, nobody wanted to buy land at Ashoman Estates because it was so far away. And I was living at Ashoman Estates for almost 20 to 30 years, right? And when you are coming to town, it's like a journey. When somebody is coming to visit you for the first time, they'll call you, they'll say, I've been driving for over an hour and I'm still not there. Hey, why? Where do you live? But today, a plot of land at Ashoman is almost 200,000 Ghana cedis. About 30 years ago, Spintex was full of bushes. Nobody wanted it. But today, you can't afford land at Spintex Road. People are selling land as high as 1 million Ghana cedis in those areas. And that's why I'm saying, though you may go to an outskirts, consider that in a few years' time, the place will be developed, there will be malls, there will be universities, there might be an airport, etc. So buy a lot of land when you can get. It's a good investment. I want you to be sharing your comments and experiences as you are watching this video as well, when it comes to you purchasing lands and the good decisions you've made from purchasing lands and the returns you've gotten from it as well. Now, the very next point I have for you to start a building project this year is because even if you build and you don't want to live in it, you can rent it out or sell it. You can use it as an Airbnb or just do apartments with it or do stores, right? But the reason why I'm saying this is that one of our audience on TikTok Live mentioned that where he works and where he's built his land is like 3 hours distance, right? Or where he's bought land is 3 hours from where he works. And so for him, he's wondering, should I build or I shouldn't build? And during the TikTok Live, a great number of people said, no, you should start building immediately because of all the other factors I've explained. And the fact that 3 or 5 years from now, that place is going to be super developed. Tomorrow, you may not be working at the same place you are working. You could be working for yourself. You could have started a business, or you could be working freelance. Even if you don't want to live in it, that property would have appreciated in value, and then you could sell it or rent it, or you could build it as your retirement house, right? So it doesn't matter where you purchase land. It could be in another region, another town. Just start building, and you are not going to regret it. Now, all this is not to say that building is a smooth and easy process. No, in future videos, we are going to talk about some of the challenges you are going to expect when you are going to build. And so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And this leads us to our final point for today, where we talk about the fact that once you build and you move into it, you are going to save up on rent. We have had a great number of people who have contacted us telling us about the fact that they have 2 months, 6 months, 9 months, etc. for their rent to expire, and they are looking for ways to complete their building project. In fact, we made an entire video on how you can complete your building project if you are running out of cash. So click on this link to watch that video. Thanks, Be Brave.